So what I have here is the Action 6, and this is my weeks later review. First of all, DJI has done an amazing job with the Action 6. We have 50 gigabytes of internal storage, the option to mount the cameras both ways now, even though it was 3 years later. We have a new variable aperture, the same sensor as the Action 5 but stretched, so it's now taller, and we have a new greatly improved white balance sensor which sits here in the front of the Action 6 to make sure that the white balance is as accurate as possible no matter scenario. Now, the Action 6 has been out for some time now, and I've been spending every single day with this, comparing it to older DJI action cameras like the Action 4 and the Action 5, and even the GoPro Hero 12 and 13, and even the Ace Pro 2, to find out and see for myself if it was worth spending $550 on this camera. What's funny though is that DJI has put a lot of effort into bot comments across all platforms just to put the Action 6 in a good light. I received tons of comments which comes with like 30 plus pre-likes, so that means a comment and then I see it was commented 2 minutes ago and then it already has 30 likes, so that's a little bit fishy if you ask me. Anyway, one of the things I do like with the DJI though, or the DJI brand in general, is their ecosystem with the mounts, wireless mics, and the D-Log-M color science. Whether the camera has new features or not is really irrelevant to me as a user, as long as I have the option to decide whether or not to use these features. The first thing is HLG, normal, and D-Log-M color profile. There is no HLG color profile on this camera, which is a bummer. I do have HLG on my Action 5 Pro, and not really sure why they removed it on the Action 6. It also means that we have a constant active HDR or a constant HDR effect when recording in 4K videos up to 60 FPS with the Action 6. So whatever frame rate you use between 24 and 60 FPS will automatically be HDR, just like the Mini 4, the Mini 5, and all of the DJI drones which was released the same year or after the Mini 3 Pro, which introduced this as a permanent feature. So that means my clouds, sun, or bright parts of my videos might be overly processed by the camera itself, and the result is that my videos or my footage might not look as good. However, with the D-Log-M 10-bit color profile, I can easily solve this with an added manual white balance, as well as some custom sharpness settings, color tweak a lot in post, and so on. But out of the box, even with DJI's recommended settings, it's not always accurate. My favorite things with these DJI cameras though is hands down the ease of use, and that we have these 50 gigabytes of internal storage, which is 3 up from the Action 5 here, which has 47. 50 gigabytes of internal storage gives me around 1 hour and 20 minutes of video, something I've been taking advantage of, and actually I haven't really been using a micro SD card with the Action since I bought this with my own money. All the footage has been captured with the internal storage, so that just shows how useful this internal storage is. DJI does also have seamless connection with the DJI Mic 2, Mic Mini, and Mic 3, so whichever DJI mic I decide to use, it's always going to be smooth and faster than any other brand I've tried in the past. So it's these smaller minor things that really makes cameras like this really convenient to use. The open gate though, which quickly become the most overhyped word in 2025, I mean, it's really nice to have for some, but is it better than free frame on the Ace Pro 2? Well, no. Free frame has been in these cameras, or these Insta360 cameras, for a very long time. GoPro has the same as well. GoPro has a square sensor, 8x7, so there's nothing new. And it seems like just because it's added to a DJI camera under a different name, it's all of a sudden the greatest features of all time. It's just weird, but it's really nice to have if you need it. But you will still have to connect to the app, change the aspects, crop the footage, then export the video, and then upload the video to your platform. So it's not different or new from what we had on the GoPro and Insta360 for years. just seems like, because the brand is DJI and it's called Open Gate, it's so much better than everything else which is on the market and has been on the market for a very long time. It's like the Osmo 360 here I received from DJI to make my initial review. I was too honest making that review because I didn't really like this camera, and I haven't used it ever since because I think personally the X5 is better. Insta360 offers more flexibility in free framing, in post and effects, and basically has an arsenal of things for everyone. It doesn't matter age or experience, they have something for everyone. What's DJI is just basic, straight up boring when it comes to 360 cameras. That's one of the reasons I haven't used this a single time after making that video. And that's just my honest personal take on this, and that's just what it is for me. Some people might like it, some people might not like it, and some people might not even care. So the Osmo 360 is a camera that I can't recommend because I'm not using it myself. Even though DJI sent me this camera, I'm not using it because it doesn't live up to the expectations that I had when they first sent it 6 months prior to the release, because I was putting in some effort trying to help them improve this camera and make it as good as Insta360's X5. But when they didn't want to listen or take any of my ideas into consideration, I was kind of fed up with the whole 360 topic from DJI because they didn't want to improve it, obviously, so that's what it is. But back to the Action 6 here. Like I said, the Open Gate, if you really need it, it's an extremely useful feature. So don't get me wrong, I don't need this, and I already have cameras that does this, and since the image quality of this isn't really that great, it doesn't really make any difference having this feature. So let's talk about image quality a bit. The Action 6 is actually good. It is really good, but it seems to fluctuate a lot between good and bad. That's the problem, and more towards the bad side, especially when I'm using the normal color profile. So when using the normal color profile, which I know a lot of us are using because we want an action camera to be easy to use, straightforward, and to use it without spending hours correcting and grading the videos. One of the reasons we might get an action camera. If you want to grade your videos and make them pop really good, well, you buy a camera like the Sony a7S III or any other camera which is not an action camera, and the same goes for low light. So I'm not going to try to sugarcoat my opinion on the normal color profile on the Action 6. It's the absolute worst I've seen in a DJI camera to this day. It's not on par at all, and the fact that I mainly use these cameras in the sun, golden hour, and in like tropical places, I feel like no matter what I do, I will always end up with a sunburn, even though I'm like extremely white because we are Norwegians and Scandinavians, so you know, that's the way we are. But with the Action 6, I'm going to be tan year round, so I guess if you want to be tan, you buy the Action 6, but in reality it's not even close to a real life look. But of course we have the log M with manual settings, it would be much better. But then I might as well use the Action 5, which is the exact same camera as the Action 6, but like half the price now, especially on Black Friday. Or even the Action 4, which is even cheaper and also records in D-Log M. So D-Log M is a flat color profile with the correction and adjustments. You're not going to see the difference at all between the Action 6 and the Action 4. Maybe you can spot the Action 6 because it's overall warmer thanks to the new improved white balance sensor here, which is making everything look warm. And another thing is looking at the colors of the normal color profile here, the side by side with the GoPro Insta360. It seems like DJI couldn't really decide which color scheme to go for, so they tried to combine the colors from both GoPro and Insta360 really, and in my opinion failed big time. The variable aperture sounds nice, but having this set to auto, I'm not really sure what I'm getting. That's the problem. It's not like I needed this feature to be able to capture family videos on a vacation. For certain things, yeah, it might be the best feature to have in an action camera, but I'm sure that 95% of people buying this, which you shouldn't, to be honest, because the Action 5 and 4 is better, but those will end up using this a few times, see the results, and then basically lock it to 2.8, which is the exact same which sits in the Action 5. So basically, in an action camera, the more stable and locked features, the more of your features which are locked to a manual fixed setting, the better your footage will be, because it's an action camera. It's not meant to have variable apertures and meant to be used as a high-end camera. It's an action camera. But if you're sure you're going to use it and take full advantage of this and always going in and tweaking the aperture, tweaking the settings, recording in D-Log-M and all of that, then this is a really nice feature to have. It's an action camera, so you might just buy it for the normal color profile because you want to take it out on vacations, film with kids, have a great time, and that's what I wanted to do with this. That's the reason I bought it. And I also wanted to see if there was any changes between the Action 5 and the Action 6 and even the Action 4, and to my surprise, not much difference, to be honest. So at the end, this variable aperture for the average user, will it make your footage look better? No. What I really like though is that DJI now finally is selling some proper accessories: a macro lens, wide angle lens, boost lens, probably a bunch of lenses on the list already. The wide angle lens might not be out yet, but eventually I'm sure it will, and this is great. The macro lens is definitely going to give you a better image for sure. It's just like the Ace Pro 2, which also has a macro lens and a wide angle lens. So this is a big improvement for DJI. The only downside here is that you have to buy this overly expensive $550 action camera to use this. So they do not work with the Action 5 and Action 4 here, which all has the same design and size and form factor, just with different names. So if you want to buy all these lenses at full retail price, you have to buy the camera as well, and that's going to be close to $1,000. $1,000 for an action camera, that is, with some lenses, that is just insane. Now, I do like that we use the same battery. So in the Action 6 now, I have the same batteries that I used for the Action 4, and I can use the same for the Action 5 and also the Action 3 and take those and put it into the cameras here. And there's also mounts and other accessories from the older cameras which works with the Action 6. But it feels like DJI is taking a sidetrack here to kind of milk as much as possible before the US ban kicks into effect. Just like GoPro did with the Hero 13. No improvements, just a lens mod, and basically claiming that this is the latest and greatest when it's actually worse than a few generations back. And that's my impression of the Action 6. There's also some very clear misinformation on DJI's own website. If you're not looking at reviews and you just saw the Action 6, 4 and 5 chart where it said that the Action 6 is the only out of these that has 4K 100 FPS slow motion without diving deeper into the spec differences. So the Action 4 here does also have 4K 120 FPS, the Action 5 has 4K 120 FPS, so it's just becoming a mess in my opinion. People have been talking about this new Rocksteady 3.0 Plus as well. Well, you know what, we had that in the Action 4 as well, so it's nothing new, it's been there for many years. So it's just a complete mess in my opinion, and all these bots which are commenting on Action 6 videos, like one comment 1 minute later 100 likes on that comment, it's obviously DJI bots trying to put their own camera in good light because for some reason they knew they failed. That's why you didn't see any comparisons with the Ace Pro 2 and the Action 6 when the Action 6 was released, because no one were allowed to compare to the Ace Pro 2 because the Ace Pro 2 would kill this and are killing this in low light and at certain scenarios in daylight as well. So it is an Action, it's a bigger, bulkier Action 5 Pro. So this is Pro, this is not Pro. If they release a Pro version this year, well, that's going to be a straight up scam if you bought the Action 6, right? So at least bring out both the cameras at the same time if you're gonna plan on making a pro camera. But the Action 6 is basically the Action 5. In my opinion, I think there's just so much weird stuff going on with the Action 6 release, and as a buyer, I was a buyer of this camera. You are probably a buyer of this camera, maybe you consider buying it. Using the normal color profile on this camera, also note that the normal color profile, not the log M, but the normal color profile, I'm just not getting what I paid for. It's not even close to being an image improvement over the Action 5, and in some cases not even the Action 4. The log M, however, there's no difference. If you have the same conditions, same light, and do the same adjustments, I mean, it's a flat profile, so you can adjust as you want. You can make the Action 4 look better than the Action 6, and that's the reality of it. Then it means that you have to spend a lot of time grading your footage, and for that reason, it stands between the Action 5 and the Action 6, I would say. If you want to use a vlog lens, get the Action 6. Hands down, this will greatly improve your videos and make your videos look like they're not shot on an action camera, but this vlog lens is expensive as well, plus the camera, you have to buy the camera. If you don't want to use any lens mode at all, but still use the log M as your daily drive, you might as well get the 5 Pro or the 4, and keep in mind that they both have 13.5 stops of dynamic range. So in reality, the Action 5 and the Action 6 is the exact same cameras with some added features on the Action 6. So testing the open gate here versus free frame on the Ace Pro 2, I didn't see much difference either. The Action 6 was better at some times, then the Ace Pro 2 was better. So for the open gate and options to reframe my shots as I want, it doesn't really matter which camera I use out of the Ace Pro 2 and this one. They both do the exact same thing and have their own advantages. As for low light, I was expecting the greatest things from DJI. I was expecting massive upgrades because that's what they marketed. But honestly, I haven't been this disappointed in years. It looks absolutely awful and not on par with their marketing or overhyped promotional videos. It's just hands down bad in my opinion. The GoPro is the worst, but nothing can beat the Ace Pro 2 at this time, and I still think the Action 5 Pro looks way better in a low light than the Action 6. The Action 5 is brighter in some cases, and from what I've seen from other people, including Kai W, the Action 6 is not even close to the Action 5 in low light when it comes to details. So if you're here thinking that I'm the only one not liking this camera, then you better do some Google searches, because this is probably the most overhyped, over-edited camera release in years. Even with the bots that DJI keeps on pushing out, it's crazy. So all in all, I still think the Action 4 and the Action 5 is better cameras and better than the Action 6. And for $550, it's just not giving me the same hyped up, over edited footage that I saw in these embargo videos, and for $550 it's just not worth it. So mine is going back, and I'd rather save my money for the Ace Pro 3, which hopefully is an upgrade over the Ace Pro 2 compared to the Action 5 versus the Action 6, or even the GoPro Hero 14 if they manage to fix their issues. So sorry guys, DJI makes amazing drones like the Nano 2, the Air 3S, and the Mini 4 Pro, which still sits at the peak of quality, but action cameras, I think DJI really needs to go back to the drawing board here. The Action 6 is going back, and if I could help at least one of you to make a better buy, maybe get the Action 5 instead, or even 4. The Ace Pro 2 is an amazing option as well, really great camera, and the Action 6, just a hype. It's really not that great. But of course, we have different opinions, and like I said, the log M is amazing. But getting the Action 6 for the log M, you're paying twice as much for the same feature, especially now during the Black Friday and the holiday season. Christmas is coming up. You could actually buy both of these if you find a really great deal for the same price as the Action 6. So I would say hold on tight. The Ace Pro 3 and the GoPro Hero 14 is not too far away, I think. So stay tuned.